Good afternoon, everyone. So it is Thursday, the 2nd of January, and yeah, we've a few wee jobs to do here in the yard today. Another wet, miserable day. Plenty of rain. There wasn't meant to be too much rain today, but we've got a bit of it. But anyway, we'll have to proceed on. Going to cut out some blocks of silage out of the pit, and we'll chat about it's just some of the comments people made on how they cut out their pit, or what's the most common way. Which was just a question I asked before Christmas. And we have a few other wee jobs to do. The likes of this here, we have to sweep in what's in front of the cows. They do push out the silage, looking for the odd potato that ends up discharged out to them. They're getting silage, these cows, and a little bit of meal just to help the condition on them. These are the ones we took back up from the out farm. So yeah, some people might be wondering, why is there no feed barriers here when there's feed barriers in all the other sheds? Well, there was feed barriers here and we took them out. The squares are still there. At every post there's a square, and the timbers where the shed was built in 1995. The feed barriers were in around 1999, and they were in for probably about 11 years, 12 years by the time that we took them out. And yeah, the timbers were starting to get a little bit on the rotten side, or starting to just, the timber wasn't the best. So we had to take them out anyway. We started feeding the cows in here, and a lot of the times in those first few years we were feeding the cows on bales of silage, so they were in the way, you know. So we were putting bales of silage in here, cows were eating away at them, maybe bales of hay too, depending on what the year and what we were feeding. So didn't need them, but all the holes are there. It wouldn't be that awfully hard to put the feed barriers back up, and we put the feed trough back in, and we probably should do that. Actually, if you look up here on the wall, we have all the posts with the squares on them that pushes into these holes. So it would only be a matter of we'd have to buy 9 timbers and a couple of wee bits of timber just for the end, and we could have it back up and running. So maybe it's something we should invest in. It wouldn't cost that awfully much. So we'll see over the next few weeks. I know whenever it gets to the point where the cows are calving, you'd be better with those timbers out of here, because you know, you're opening and closing gates all the time, maybe taking cows out, calves out, maybe if a calf is born, and the timbers would only be in your way. So look, it's something we'll see in the future. But anyway, going to start, and we'll sweep in this bit of silage and get that done out of the way. So that's all swept in now, and they can feed away on that. Don't usually feed the cows and the weanlings until last, so they'll have roughly about an hour or so before I'll be back in, and they'll have 99% of that at. So it usually works out fairly well that way. Always talking about lighting this shed. It's never ideal, the lighting. We have 5 fluorescent lights kind of down the centre of it. It's okay for beefing, but when you're calving the cows, the lighting is never great. So we're going to maybe upgrade the lighting in the shed and just double up on it. Maybe put in 8 or 10 of the new LED fluorescent lights. We'll see. And what we'll do is, rather than have them down the centre, we'll have a row here, maybe back in about 2/3 of the way in this bay here. So they'll be kind of just over where the cows are, roughly, we'll say, where the cows are eating there, where the barriers is. We'll have a full row of lights right down here, and then we'll have something similar down at the back. We'll have a row then down the back, which will be then shining in on the creep area at the back where the calves creep. So it's long overdue. As I say, the lights, a lot of these lights, well, the way we've it lit, it was done since '95. Some of the fluorescents or lights themselves would have all been changed at some point over the years. You can see there is one with white tubes there. It's only in maybe 2 years, and there is a lot more light out of it than some of the other ones. So the likes of it, actually, you could probably use it again, but we will. We'll upgrade it. But I'll do a video on the upgrading of the lighting whenever we're doing it. but there should be a good difference. So, right, we'll go start cutting out some of these blocks. So, cutting out some silage. Yeah, had a conversation earlier this year, if you remember. I mentioned it before Christmas, where the farmhand guy was saying that we should be cutting out our blocks in layers. So, remember Mark, what I said was that, I'll just drive up to the pit here where we can just look at it. Yeah, what he said was that what you should be doing is you should be taking like your layer, see this layer down here, take it right down. The next one over, then you should be leaving a space along here, and then on this layer here, then take it right down, leaving then this strip down the middle. And by doing that, then you have pressure on both sides of the grab as you're cutting out those two lines down, and then the strip that's left down the middle, when you're cutting that, you're only cutting on the front part of the grab. The two side parts then has no pressure. The idea is that you're not going to twist your grab as you're cutting out the blocks. Now, I thought that was a little bit much, to be honest, because this grab is here since what year did we buy this teleporter? 2007. And I've never twisted the frame on it, and I've always, nearly always, I cut straight across. So it's straight across, come back over, straight across, come back over, straight across. On occasion, I could take a couple of layers down, maybe depending if I wanted to use one side of the pit for some reason, or maybe we have a drainage pipe here along the side. If something happened, it gets cut off, I could take a couple of layers out, just if there was a build up of water or something here on this corner. So, yeah, as a rule, straight across. So I just asked the question and see how most people do it. And most people seem to be coming back with the same, that they're all straight across, or the other way is straight down. So it's straight down and then they move on, straight down again, straight down. So it's, I suppose it's 6 of one, half a dozen of another, which way that you'd prefer to do it. Nobody came back and said that they'd done it the way that Quickie recommend that you cut out the blocks. So it kind of says a lot. I suppose it would depend on your grab too. The likes of this Woods grab, there's never been an issue with it bending. They're built strong and built fairly well, and I'd imagine most grabs at this stage are built the same. Maybe going back to the earlier grabs, shear grabs, maybe the stuff wasn't in them, and this is why that they were recommending that you cut out the blocks in such a way. So look, it's just, I suppose it's just what they recommend, and it's probably covering themselves in case that that you twist the grab, and they'll be able to come back to you and say, what way were you cutting out the blocks? Well, that's not how we recommend it. You should be doing it this way, and it's maybe get out of jail, for them just to not have to stand over the product, So maybe that's, I'm really just suspecting maybe that's what their angle on it is. But yeah, I think any of the grabs that's on the go now should be strong enough that you'll be able to just cut out straight across as you need them. Yeah, so I'll set up the camera outside. We're losing daylight now fairly quick. It's about 4:30, I think. Coming up close to that. So I'll set the camera up outside and we'll get a little bit of footage just before the daylight runs out, and we'll get the rest of these blocks cut. this is the job that nobody likes, using the grape. 3-pound silage grape I'm using for this job. A little bit of bad silage that there is now on the side of the pit. There was a whole, almost a full top layer that I took off now, so there's 3 blocks here, a little bit here on this one at the back, that I'm going to have to just scrape off a little bit of the excess bad silage off and just dump it in. Yeah, had a few people asking me, would I not use enzymes or, you know, an additive to try and stop any of the bad silage appearing. It's not a problem we've ever had before. We'd be fairly good at covering a pit. Very little waste, and the whole year we wouldn't have that little green trailer that I put the dung on a few days ago. I put the waste on. We wouldn't fill that. We wouldn't fill that off the pit in a whole year, you know. So like it's only a couple of ton altogether that you'd have to dump out. Yeah, so it's not usually an issue. In hindsight, looking back now, we probably should have put a little bit of something in to try and just stop it from going off. But look, at hindsight is a great thing. We'd all be millionaires if we had hindsight. But yeah, so that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to just continue on here, and I'll take off the bit of bad off these 3 blocks. So yeah, that's really about it, I suppose. I'll continue on, just scrape off the last bit of the silage and get that finished with. Don't know what I'm up to tomorrow. Probably maybe clearing around the 2130. That is most certainly back on the agenda. New Year's resolution is to get back at it and to get it finished this year. So or maybe we can get it finished before the summer and maybe get to use it a little bit around hay time or something like that. So yeah, we're going to be pushing on with that now over the next coming weeks. I have a little bit of clearing to do around it. There was some stuff put in around it over the last 18 months just when we weren't doing anything to it. So I'll clear around it, and I'll maybe make a video on it tomorrow and just a review on just all the work that was done to it so far and what we have to do to it still and how we're getting on with it. So yeah, that's most certainly on the cards. I'm going to try and get a few videos up over the next few days, try and get the channel just going again the way that it was. The views aren't just coming the way that they were when George was born and around that period. I hadn't just as many videos up for a while, and when that happens, it all slows down a wee bit. So we'll get it back up and running in full swing again. So that's what you'll see. A few videos now over the next few days. I'll probably put daily videos up maybe till Saturday or Sunday, and we'll get some more up then early next week. So if you like this video, don't forget to put a like on it, leave a comment down below, subscribe to the channel, all the usual stuff, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.